Buckets. Hello and welcome into episode 40 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. Before we get into it today, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube if you're not already. And if you're listening on Spotify, leave 5 stars and download the episodes. And with either platform, share to everybody you know, your friends, your enemies, your countrymen, whatever they say. It is Wednesday, June 5th. Finals start tomorrow, and this episode will probably come out tomorrow morning if you're listening. Great. Thank you so much. So we're going to talk a little bit about the finals, a little preview. We kind of did a preview last time when both series were 3-0 because we assumed no one ever came back from a 3-0 lead. It was going to be Mavs Celtics. It is Mavs Celtics. Now it's official, so we'll kind of get into it a little bit more. But first, Dom, how are you?
Thank you for that amazing introduction, Damon. Do it flawlessly every time. No script, unscripted,
It
unscripted.
is unscripted.
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I played basketball yesterday for the first time in a while. Like I played a game with some people at the park. It was two kids, one I think high school, one middle schooler, and one older man who was like he had just had knee surgery, and he was like, "I'm like 62." I was like, "This is gonna be fun." And it was me and the old guy versus the two kids, and he scored only 2 points in each game, and I scored 14 in each game. So that was pretty fun.
Did you win?
And oh, we won both games, yeah. So we did one, and I was so gassed, dude. I was halfway through the first game, and I was like, I need to start running again, or dude, it was crazy because like I was basically getting anything I wanted going to the hoop because they're like shorter, you know.
Right.
But I was so tired, I just kept like shooting threes, and I was making most of them. Like he would set a screen, I would just do a step back and make them. But eventually, I got too tired to make
Yeah.
them. So
Those that don't know, Dom is 6'7", so when he plays against kids, it's
yeah,
real light
I
work.
literally pushed them to the ground. And the thing is, it makes them better. Well, also, I have fun playing with kids sometimes because I didn't even mean I was like
Out
I
of
was like
context, that is
oh
not
my
good.
God,
That is
I
not a
have fun
good
playing
statement.
basketball with kids sometimes. Oh, because I like coaching them. Like this one kid kept giving me the baseline, and I was like, you keep giving me the baseline, I'm gonna make it every time. You got to cut off the baseline. I don't like how when I'm watching the NBA now, they give guards the baseline. They
Yeah.
just make an under like layup. It's like, come on, guys, like you got to push them out. So like I have fun helping them with their basketball IQ and stuff. And he actually took my advice and was like doing stuff. So that was pretty fun. My first kind of soiree into that. But I've been good. I have a gig Friday, which I'm very excited about with the band. And besides that, I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm actually about a dog sit for Mason. Shout out Mason next
Shout
week.
out,
So I'm
Junior.
gonna be hanging out with Junior all week, which I'm excited for.
Nice.
But how are you doing? We got new environment for you, but
New
the hoop's still
digs.
up. But
The
the
hoop
hoop's
is
still
up.
up.
The hoop made it. Yeah, we were gonna do this yesterday, and I pushed it back because I'm a bad co-host. Because I had nothing hooked up, and I still had nothing hooked up today. I literally got off work, drove straight home, and had to unpack and all that. It took a while because when I moved my computer, my monitors, they're like nicely wrapped up in styrofoam that they came in and blah blah blah. So it took a
Yeah.
little bit. I got nothing on the wall. I got boxes on the floor. So if you're watching, yeah, it's not looking great here. It will look better, but I literally just moved in like 4 days ago. So one thing at a
Yeah.
time. Um,
Yeah, but the
yeah,
apartment looks great. You sent me some pictures, and I'm excited to kind of see it all, furnished and filled out and everything.
yes. And I also, I took a note from you. Okay.
What did I
You,
say?
you had the wine, okay? And I decided, what can I do to contribute to this? And when I was at the store, of course, since I just moved, I need a lot of stuff. I got this San Antonio Spurs HEB courtside chocolate crunch ice cream. So I'm going to eat that during the duration of this podcast.
Oh my God, you got to be kidding.
So I thought, well, that apply. I saw it and I was like, that's an idea.
That's NBA. Instead of wearing merch, we could just eat NBA like inspired stuff or drink NBA. Like instead of like wearing like a Lakers shirt, I'll just be drinking Gatorade or something.
Exactly.
It's like they drink Gatorade on the court. Okay, well, give me that first bite. Let me tell me what that bite tastes like. I'm gonna try. Tell me what it
That's
tastes
what
like.
is that flavor? I don't know what flavor I'm getting.
Chocolate crunch.
There's some chocolate in here for sure, but that was a different flavor I was just getting. Yeah, it's good. It tastes like chocolate ice cream. I like HEB ice cream. Um,
Yeah, I don't hate it.
sponsor us.
I really do miss the ice cream. I'm gonna go on a tangent. I do miss the ice cream in Texas. The ice cream in Texas is just far and above in California in the stores for whatever reason. Except for like, Ben and Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs, it's the same everywhere. But like the local store brand stuff is just not up to par here. It is not good. And also they don't have Bluebell. So my life here is terrible, basically, is all that's what I'm getting to.
Don't move to
Um,
California, kids.
yeah, if you're gonna do it, know what you're getting into. At least there's Panda Express, but there's no Whataburger. So just, gear up for that kind of stuff. But yeah, well, I'm glad you moved in. Everything's there. You just have to unpack.
Lots of
Uh, you,
packing and unpacking and moving. I was very sore this past week.
yeah, I can imagine. Are you gonna play basketball anytime soon?
I'm playing
Or
basketball on Sunday, which is
hell
what's
yeah,
today? It's Wednesday. So,
Wednesday. Got a few.
uh,
Oh, I guess you'd be like, lifting boxes and stuff. It'll conditioning. Your conditioning.
yeah, I'm gonna
There
start
you
doing
go.
I'm gonna get some cones, do a little shuttle drill in the apartment.
There you Oh my God, that sounds terrible. I see sometimes I go to the park here and I'll see like private coaches giving kids, like drills and stuff to do, and I see them put the cones down. I'm like, I feel so bad. It's all usually like an 8-year-old kid. I'm like, I feel so bad for this kid.
Why
Like,
is he out there shuttling? What is
yeah,
happening?
it's like, please stop.
You
Like,
just
don't
got
make him do that.
you got to make sure you know the purpose. Like you can't just have him shuttling and he's like, "Why am I doing this?" He has to know
Exactly.
it's to stay in front of a defender or as a defender or whatever.
Right. I also, do they still call, I feel like they don't. Do they still call them suicides when you like run to hit the line, go back and forth and
That's
run?
what I know them as. So I
Yeah,
don't know
what
if
would
they're
they
called.
call it? I feel like that's kind of frowned upon. I can't really
That's
call them
yeah,
that
yeah. I don't know why we ever called them that.
because it
Yeah,
makes you want to. Okay, no, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
right, right.
It was one of my least favorites for sure.
It
And
was
also like,
horrible. The
yeah,
stop
just
and start of it was so bad.
oh my God, terrible. But hey, we're not here to talk about things we don't like. We're here to talk about things we do like, and that's basketball.
I like
So
basketball.
I
Um,
yeah, I like
I-
the shirt you're wearing.
yes, I'm rocking Luka Devin Booker. I have worn this before. I think in like literally episode 3, but Luka's in the finals, so I feel like I had to
The
wear it.
classic.
I thought, and this was after I got home, and I was really upset I didn't think about it at work because I when I went to work, I was like, yeah, I'll probably wear this shirt because the Mavs are in the finals. It just makes sense. What I should have done is I should have taken I didn't even get to a specific point, whether it's Jason Tatum or like Anthony Edwards or Rudy Gobert, and I should have put their face, like I should have printed a picture of their face and
Oh
put it
my
over Devin Booker.
God.
That would have been funny. Um,
Just Jason Tatum, like
yeah,
just like that. No, I love that shirt. It's a great shirt.
it's a classic. It's a classic. It's a rewear, unfortunately. I think I'm kind of out of
Ah,
OG ideas, so but Luka's in the finals, so why not?
no, it's absolutely relevant. And I got this like for like a couple bucks at a Goodwill a few weeks ago. And we have some Lakers news. So I thought it was relevant enough, you know. I wore the Maverick shirt last time, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I'm gonna wear it to work tomorrow, my Mav shirt, to show my support for my brothers in Dallas.
They're Boston,
Very
so get out.
honestly. And my boss, oh, I think I said Boston's gonna say get out. My boss is like, I can't even do he's Greek. I'm not gonna do his accent. I'm like Boston's number one. I doubt he's a Celtics fan though. So I'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and so in regards to NBA, before we get into NBA, there's some WNBA stuff we want to dive into real quick.
Yeah, I've just been seeing a lot about this, so I kind of just wanted to touch on it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But basically, ever since Caitlin Clark has been in the WNBA, she's been kind of a target, which is to be expected. The amount of hype she had in college, most college points of all time, um, really not revolutionizing women's basketball, but making it more relevant,
Right.
just with her presence. And that's not, I don't really think that's a fault of her own. Um, I think she's very like not afraid to talk trash and goes out there and has the game to back it up. I read an article, I think it was from her freshman year of college, where her teammates would be open and she wouldn't pass them the ball and she would try to take like a contested shot herself and her coach like yelled at her and she was
Hmm.
like, well, they're not going to make the shot. Why am I going to give them the ball? Um, and then I saw some like Kobe comparisons. Like that's something like Kobe would
Yeah.
do, and I was like, that's something you praise Kobe for. But then like we look at Caitlin Clark, and it's like, oh, boo, like bad sport. So there's some double standards there, I guess. Um, but anyways, in the WNBA, she's been getting not only like targeted in terms of double teams and stuff like that, but she's been getting like I've seen clips of her getting like thrown down, like
And like
not
hard
not even like
screens.
basketball related. Like people are, I watched somebody walk up to her and just like shove her in the back, like when nothing was going on. So it's just like a little silly. I know. I think the part about this that frustrates me the most is not really about Kaylin Clark. It's more about now women's basketball is more relevant, I think, probably than it has been in our lifetime, and it's having like a negative light because of like what's happening
On
in
the
the
court. And
WNBA. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's like instead of like, oh, let's appreciate basketball, it's like let's hate Caitlin Clark or love Caitlin Clark, and that's the debate where it should just be like let's appreciate everybody.
yeah, let's
And
just enjoy basketball. Yeah.
I feel like the other players in the WNBA, sure, they're probably jealous of the amount of attention that's going on, and like we've been doing this for years. I totally get that and understand that, and that's valid. But it's not Caitlin Clark's fault that like people are paying attention now. She's just playing the game, and now they happen to be paying attention. You should, I feel like, cherish that and be like, oh, okay, thanks. Like people are paying attention. Great. Um,
Yeah. Now that people are watching, go out there, play your game, and now people are going to see you playing your game, and then you'll be talked about as
right.
much, and not, not because you're pushing her down, but because you're, to get working together to bring it, more to light, the league more to light and stuff.
And I don't know the entire context of this, but I saw a clip on the Pat McAfee show, and he's always kind of like, like like he has weird outbursts. Like there's not
Okay,
PC, like he's very like I
gotcha.
mean,
I don't know who he is,
he,
so
he used to be a kicker for the Colts, and he has
okay, a
and he
football team. Okay, cool.
yeah, and he has his own show, and he had his own show for a while, and then this past year he signed with ESPN because the show's like really big and popular.
Okay.
Um, and literally on his show, I don't know what again, I don't know what the exact context was, but he called Caitlin Clark a white bitch. And I was like, what is that even? He's white, by the way. I was like, I don't even I don't even understand like what's the point of that? So I don't know. I just don't like I don't understand why the attention being brought to women's basketball has to all be so negative. I feel like it should be more positive. So that's just kind of what I wanted to touch on.
Absolutely. And I mean, so I've noticed, I asked a couple of friends of mine if they've noticed that there's more WNBA stuff around. Because obviously I'm seeing a lot more of it. You are because we're watching NBA and stuff like that. But I asked them and they're like, yeah, it's kind of everywhere now, which is good, I think.
I saw a kid wearing
But
a Caitlin Clark jersey at a restaurant the other day.
that's awesome. I see a lot more Iowa University stuff now. I haven't really seen someone wearing specifically Caitlin Clark, but I doubt anyone is just representing Iowa that much just this now. You know what I mean?
I just love
Although
Iowa.
I mean, I love Iowa. My dad worked at Iowa State, which is not Iowa University where she went, but still like would see a lot of Hawkeye stuff around. Um, yeah, they're Hawkeyes, right? Yeah, that's what it is. But well, back to the Kobe comparison. What I do like is at least from what I've seen of Caitlin Clark is like, yeah, as a freshman she did that, but now she doesn't. Like you grow as a player. So Kobe did that, and then they didn't win championships, and then he started like sharing the ball and having partners like Pau Gasol or Shaq and Lamar, like just getting people involved. Then he would win championships. You know what I mean? So like your selfish play is, I think it's pretty immature to um just glorify it so much. Even like I think I mentioned to you, like I watched the LeBron James JJ Redick podcast, The Mind the Game.
Mhm.
Definitely recommend it. You should definitely watch it if you do it. And LeBron was talking about how kids nowadays are just talking about getting in their bag. They're just trying to go one on one. And basketball is a team sport. Like it's not about one player. It's about 10 players on the court at the one time. So I hope that these players in the WNBA realize that this is an opportunity. You know what I mean? For them to showcase, just more people are going to games now, and now instead of tearing each other down, build each other up. You know,
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. And to mention, I was actually going to go to a Sparks game today, but no one was available, so I didn't go to a Sparks game today. But I will at some point. Got to see Cameron Brink, number 2.
Yeah.
overall, number 2 overall.
Yeah, people are not talking about the rest of the draft class. It's been pretty good. Um,
Yeah,
I
but
will probably get more locked in once the NBA finals are over.
that's exactly how I feel. But yeah, okay. But so thank you for bringing up all that. I think it is important to talk about that kind of stuff. And I wish there was what's the nearest WNBA team to you? Is there Dallas? Is there one in Dallas, right?
Jeez, I don't even know.
I think there used to be the Houston Comets, which I remember
Yeah.
going to a few games when we were kids. Um, not Sue. There's someone Snow on the
The
team that was
Dallas Wings.
Dallas Wings. I think they're not good, if
Um,
I'm remembering correctly.
they're 3-4.
Yeah, but they
Oh,
don't they have
they have Enrique Gumbawale. I know who that is.
okay. I thought they drafted someone else too that was kind of well known. Where did Angel Reese go?
Chicago Sky.
Chicago. That's Chicago
Yeah.
Sky. Never mind. I just got confused. Sky and Wings, same thing to me.
A lot of similarities for sure.
But okay. Yeah, moving on from the WNBA to the NBA, the MNBA, Men's
There
National
you go.
Basketball Association.
We
There we
should
go.
rename it that.
Yeah, come on, guys. So the Wizards, our favorite organization, Washington Wizards, they're promoting Brian Keefe to head coach. So he was the interim coach after they fired Unseld Jr. during the season. So we'll see what he does, what they decide to do moving forward. I'm curious what their off season's going to look like. If they're going to go, I feel like they've been in rebuild mode, but they're still signing
They're in like
a
disaster
very
mode. I
they
don't
yeah, they're
know.
in a very strange purgatory. Like not as bad, I'd say. Like they don't have that many bad contracts as like the Bulls, but a lot of those people are probably going to be hopefully moved this off season too.
It's because the Bulls should have started rebuilding 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
no, for sure. I'm just saying. Remember when we were talking about like bright futures? Like it's not as bad as like some
Right.
people. So yeah, congrats to Brian Keefe, and we got some more coaching news as well. But
Yeah,
you know what? I put something in the wrong order, but it
it's
was
okay.
Clippers related, so that's why I did it.
I'll fix it right now. Ty Lue and the Clippers have reached an agreement on a 5-year contract extension worth close to $70 million. So now he's one of the highest paid coaches in the NBA. There was talks, a little bit ago about him being the Lakers head coach. So that didn't happen, obviously. And now he's going to be with the Clippers for a while. Just good because I feel like, we talked about a lot of coaches getting fired and stuff based on their team not having success. And you can argue the Clippers are one of those teams. They've been
Mhm.
disappointing in the Kawhi Leonard, Paul George era. I almost said Kawhi George. Uh,
Kawhi George and Paul Leonard. Yeah.
but it's not, yeah, I think it's obvious it's not the coach's fault. So,
Yeah. I mean they just had one of their best seasons this past year, and you go against in the first round you went against the Mavericks who were in the finals now. So you can't really
yeah,
feel
you,
too
you
bad
lost
about
against
it.
the finals champion. So,
Yeah. So I'm glad I like Ty Lue. He's a good coach. I'm glad the Clippers are keeping him around. And I'll be seeing him a lot on the sidelines, I guess, when I go to these games. Speaking of Clippers, I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet, but I
mhm.
kept seeing around LA like these show or something called Clipped, and it was like a woman with really long nails holding a basketball. I was like, "What is?" And it was like red and blue. I was like, "Is that a Clippers show?" And then I just saw a preview, like
I sent you a thing a
I,
long time ago. Like
I
I
don't
remember
remember.
a picture. It was a picture of Lawrence Fishburne as Doc Rivers, and I
I
said,
probably
"Is he supposed to be Doc Rivers?" And you were like, "I don't think so."
because I didn't know what you're talking about. Like I don't think I understood that I thought you were just sending me something. I thought you were just trying to say something funny. And I was like, Damon's funny. That is funny. But I just saw like a trailer for it today, and I
Yeah,
don't understand what the hell it's supposed to be about. So am I gonna watch it? No. Are you gonna watch it?
probably not.
Okay. Good. I'm glad we got past that.
I think it's about the Lob City Clippers. So Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, but
Just
what
like
about them
it's just about.
losing?
It's just yeah, yeah. Basically,
It's like, okay, cool. Cool. We're gonna get a show about a team. If you're gonna talk about those teams, let's talk about the Charlotte Bobcats. That's more interesting. I think because no one knows about them. I feel like you should bring something to light that hasn't been. I don't know. Maybe I will look
It
at
is
it, look
it's
into
really
it.
funny to look at the people that are playing NBA players because they look nothing like them.
They look
It is
so bad.
hilarious.
One of the actors who's playing Draymond looked to me like KD. I thought it was some weird face swap thing, and then I got what you sent me. It's like I don't. This is looks very strange to me.
Yeah,
But
the guy that's playing Steph Curry looks like Dak Prescott.
my God. And he's like
Uh,
6'8", 6'9". He's like way too tall. I just love that all their heights are totally wrong. Like Lawrence
All their heights
Fishburne's
are
like five
definitely
eight,
wrong.
something like
They're
that.
not. There's no way they have a bunch of people as tall as NBA players.
It's so funny making fun of that because there is a Lakers show called Winning Time, and we haven't talked about it once because I haven't watched it, and I've
Apparently,
heard
it's
it's
pretty
also not.
good.
I've heard it's good, but it's not accurate. So I'm not gonna
Yeah,
watch it. I
yeah.
watched something else Lakers related that was accurate,
You know what
but
I need to watch still? I need to watch Hustle.
I have not seen Hustle either. We should have a watch party. Anthony
Watch
Edwards is in
Party.
it.
Yeah.
The
Boban is in it.
Boban and also
Juancho
Pelicans
Hernan Gomez.
legend. Yeah, Hernan Gomez,
Yeah.
right? Which one?
Juan.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, it's Juan. Juan is in it. Actually, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they're twins. I don't think they're twins.
They look exactly the same.
They don't.
Are you kidding me?
I could identify them separately for sure.
Okay, you do that. You tell me more about these coaching stuff, and I'm gonna look them both up because I swear, unless I just thought one person was two people.
That's what I'm thinking may have happened here.
That's exactly what probably happened. But in other coaching news,
And other coaching news, originally Mike Brown and the Sacramento Kings tabled extension talks. They couldn't come to an agreement, and now they have. So Mike Brown is going to get a $4 million raise to bring his salary next season to 8.5 million for 2024-2025, and then he'll also get 8.5 million the following two seasons. So Mike Brown's sticking around in Sacramento. There was some worry there because they missed the playoffs this season. Um, but again, I think once you have a coach like that who's established, brought you to the playoffs last year, you might as well keep him around. So I'm glad they did.
bro, they look like straight up twins. So I'm not crazy. I couldn't in that amount of time, I couldn't find out if they are twins, and they're close enough to me to look like twins. But congrats to Mike Brown. I mean, obviously it makes sense. He's doing a great job in Sacramento, and we'll see what they do this offseason too, because I think Malik Monk's contract is up. So
He's gonna get a
um,
bag.
yeah, as he deserves. He's been hooping on the West Coast, so good for him. Speaking of which, West Coast and news in the Pacific Division, the Lakers are nearing a deal for JJ Redick to be our next head coach. We briefly mentioned this a few pods ago, I think, just about the runner-ups or the coaches that they're considering. And
Hmm.
we specifically said that, JJ Redick, first-time head coach, probably not the best move. Someone more established would probably be better for the Lakers. Well, you know,
That didn't happen,
maybe
huh?
that's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen. Someone who's not. He hasn't even been an assistant head coach or assistant coach. You know what I mean? So I am very interested to see what happens with this, and I have no control over what happens. I don't know if I'm happy or not. I think JJ Redick has a great basketball mind. I really like listening to him talk about basketball. Has a very high IQ.
He's gonna
What's
expose all the Lakers' plans on the podcast.
Yeah, he will. And because it's him and LeBron, it's like, all
Yeah.
right, so we're the Lakers, so this is what we do. It's literally the two coaches of the Lakers, the two head coaches of the Lakers have a pod together, essentially. Yeah, you like that? That's pretty good.
That was good.
Um, but yeah, we will see what happens, and like I said, I have no control, so it's not even worth like complaining. I hope the best. You know what I mean? So maybe
And
this will be the right move. Maybe something totally different because we had Frank Vogel. We won a championship. He was a head coach before. Didn't pan out. Then we got Darvin Ham, who's never head coach, but assistant coach for a long time. Maybe we just need someone that has no experience
maybe that's
whatsoever.
the answer. That could be it.
Hey, if you keep doing the same thing, that's called insanity and expecting the
Right.
same different result. So,
Right.
yeah.
Good job, Lakers.
Thank
Yay.
you, Lakers. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
In other Lakers news, the New Orleans Pelicans have deferred the 17th overall pick to the Lakers. So the Lakers will be picking at 17 in the draft. Um, Bronny James, you're a Laker. Congratulations.
Come on over, Zach Edey.
Oh, no, he's not going that high. This is going to allow the Pelicans to the Lakers pick next year. So basically, they had a choice: take this year's pick at 17, or take next year's pick. I guess they figured the Lakers are going to suck, so they'll take their pick next year.
Wow. Hey, I want to remember this, and I want to keep the receipts when the Lakers are like the number one seed next year with JJ Redick as my head coach. Because
Yeah.
you know why he's going to be like the best head coach? Because he's also going to be in the game. He's going to come off the
Is
bench
that
and shoot some threes
they
in his like suit. It's gonna yeah, and also we haven't
don't wear
talked about
suits
this.
anymore.
I know. I was just about like I kind of miss them wearing suits. At first I liked it, but now I miss them having some personality. Now they're just all dressed the exact same, all
The
the head
suits were
coaches.
too big.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool. It looks very professional. It's kind of like how I like the soccer coaches. Like they can wear athletic or they can wear suits. I don't know if you ever watched a soccer game,
Nope.
but yeah. But they do that, and I think that's kind of interesting. But
I finished the chocolate crunch.
wow, that was record timing.
It was not as good as normal chocolate ice cream, I think.
You know why I don't like LA? Because they don't have Lakers themed ice cream anywhere that I go. That's why I don't like LA. No other reason. I love the traffic. I hate the
I
fact
love
there's no Lakers themed ice cream anywhere or desserts anywhere I go.
Not that you found.
It's a hellhole. Um Now back to back to NBA.
Back to our
Um
scheduled programming.
Back to scheduled programming. So yeah, it's okay. So we have our finals teams, right?
Right.
So we have our final Boston Celtics in the East
Yeah.
and Dallas Mavericks in the West.
Yeah.
We are going to just do a quick recap of the last three
Yeah,
games.
this shit happened forever ago.
I like how you just, yeah, it's just, I'm so, bro, it just happened. We're going to talk about it. You know what happened, but we're going to briefly
In
mention it.
case you haven't been locked in, that's our job to keep you locked in.
That's exactly what we like to do. Yes,
Should I
right.
talk like this the whole podcast?
If you talk like that, I'll talk like this. And I'll
Nope.
keep my mouth closed essentially the whole time. I look like a puppet. If you're not watching the pod and you're just listening, you're doing it wrong. You better watch our faces because our faces go crazy. Before we started this pod, I was telling you, I think this is going to be one of our most unhinged pods
I
for
don't know
whatever
why,
reason.
but
It
it's
doesn't.
going that way.
It seems like it. So Boston Celtics, Indiana Pacers.
Tell me what
Um,
happened in game four.
so game four, it was in Indiana. Obviously, they didn't want to be swept, but without Tyrese Halliburton, it was going to be tough. This
Right.
game started out like so many this series, where the Pacers had to lead most of this series in all of these games. Okay, Damon's doing the faces, so that's you're distracting me because I'm watching the pod too while I'm doing the pod. Um, but you know what happened is that the Pacers offense at some point, especially in the fourth quarters, became stagnant. And I think
I I just want to say I looked up what is a pacer. And
the hard pacer, is that what came up?
a person or thing that paces.
No, what? No, no, that can't be right. They gotta fix that. And then it doesn't say that below that, look up pace, what pace means.
An original member of the ABA, this franchise's nickname was decided on by the group of investors. Indianapolis attorney Richard D. Tinkham recalls the name Pacers was chosen because it was reflective both of the state's rich history with harness racing pacers and the pace car used for the running of the Indianapolis 500.
I thought you said his name was gonna be like like Richard D. Pacer. He said Tinkham, which was even funnier. But yeah, so yeah, talking about Pacers. Thank you. Heart Pacers. Now we're talking about heart. But yeah, so back to the game. The Pacers just their offense in the fourth quarter just gets stagnant. Andrew Nimhart was doing the best he could, but he ended up finishing with 24 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds as the lead ball handler.
Mhm.
TJ McConnell off the bench also did a really great job. He had a scary fall on his back. It was a Jaylen Brown foul that was not on purpose. Wasn't called a flagrant. Probably should have been, but obviously wasn't on purpose. But
Right.
thankfully he was okay, kept playing. But at some point, they just could not score anymore. They actually didn't score a single point in the last 3 minutes of this game. So the Celtics basically just kind of, dug their heels in on defense,
And
made
they only lost by
buckets,
three. That's
and
tough.
only lost by 3. Yeah, they edged out a narrow win. And then Jaylen Brown had a really good game and actually went home as the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, which is the first time in his career. Because I think last time was Jason Tatum.
Mm.
And in this series he averaged 30 points and 5 rebounds or assists.
Rebounds?
I'm going to assume rebounds and 52% for the series from the field. So he played very.
You know who the Eastern Conference Finals MVP is named after?
Is it Bill Russell?
No, it's Larry Bird.
Oh, it's Larry Bird. I knew it was a Celtic. I knew it was a Celtic. It had to be a
A
Celtic.
Celtic winning a Celtic award.
Anyway, so Celtics swept the Pacers. It was a good series, but without Halliburton, um, I mean, and that first game one loss was such a like a heartbreaker. It really couldn't make their way back. The Celtics are a better team. They were built for this. So, congrats to the Pacers making that far. Congrats to the Celtics making it to the finals.
Hmm.
But I want to ask you, what's next for the Pacers?
76 and 20 for the season for Celtics, by the way, including the playoffs. Um,
I'm not impressed because they're going to lose in the finals.
oh,
Oh, a little preview, a little preview.
hey, oh, we also
76 and 20 doesn't mean anything if you don't win the last game.
we also said it in our last episode. Um,
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't
what's
we?
What's next for the Pacers? Pascal Siakam's a free agent. I think when you make that trade, you probably have kind of a hush-hush agreement that you're going to sign back here because we just traded a bunch of stuff. So I imagine he goes back. Tyrese, of course, is an all-star 2 years in a row. I imagine he'll get better. Really good breakout kind of series at the end here for Nimhard. So maybe he can be pretty good next year. You still have guys like Jarris Walker on the bench. Miles Turner, I don't know if I feel like he's been in trade rumors for 6 years, but I thought he played really well in the playoffs, and I think
Yeah.
he should stick around. I think Obi Toppin is also a free agent, so you have to decide if you want to pay him. I think he played pretty good off the bench. Him and McConnell were a good duo for them. Um, Benedict Mathurin was injured. We didn't even talk about that really
Oh
at all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We mentioned
Um,
it in like right before the series started, like notable injuries.
mhm.
But yeah, we haven't talked about him since. I skipped seeing him on the bench. It was like, oh yeah, he's on this team.
Yeah, so he'll be a great guy to plug in
Yeah,
next year. I mean they're young and getting better. Pascal's like the only guy that's like 30, I think. Everyone else is still relatively young. Miles Turner's like 28. But you just kind of come back. I think as long as you don't think you're the 2021 Hawks that made the conference finals after the Ben Simmons didn't dunk ordeal, and then that team has just been like floundering since then, trying to
yeah,
replicate that with not really doing anything. So maybe they do cash in on some young guys for another guy, or um, maybe they choose. I feel like they have a lot right now on their
yeah.
bench. I mean, their number 8 overall pick didn't play. Ben Shepherd
Oh
played.
yeah,
That guy was a rookie.
yeah.
Why did he play?
Jalen Smith also got some run for some strange reason.
Yeah.
Although
So
he's good, he's also a good NBA player. But we didn't talk about Isaiah Jackson,
Isaiah
another great
Jackson,
player.
yeah, he was pretty good in his limited minutes. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think they're pretty good. They're pretty young. I think, theoretically the Bucks, 76ers, Magic, Cavs, those teams will all be kind of pretty good next year.
yeah,
So it's not like they're going to walk back into the conference finals. So um, they got to address some of those things. I would say, yeah, I would say like Neesmith was like starting at small forward. He's probably better off the bench. Maybe even Nimhard becomes like
yeah,
a bench guy. You got to find, I think, a like if Tyrese is like a primary guy and Pascal's like a secondary guy, you need like a tertiary guy, or is Siakam a tertiary guy? I need a secondary guy. I feel like something like that is what they
yeah.
need to address.
I was gonna say the one player I really liked on this team and I miss is Bruce Brown. So if there
Hmm.
was a way to get another player like that, like someone you can trust who's efficient, just a little bit more experience, has like that championship pedigree,
Hmm.
on this like young team. Because I think that also kind of, Pascal Siakam was obviously level-headed in this series. Everyone else was their first time like in this situation. So if he gets to someone with that experience, doesn't have to be, a Kawhi Leonard or these like superstar or whatever, but just someone who has been there before and
Hmm.
can play minutes and calm everything down and get buckets, I think would be beneficial to them as well. So something like that I think would be great. But I think they're great as they are as well. And it's just also nice to see that the Eastern Conference, at least to me, it looks like it is getting more competitive. Like, because some things happen you didn't expect, and with barring injury, like the Eastern Conference is going to be really fun and a really good. Um, because everyone talks about the West being stacked and everything,
Hmm.
but I think the East, it's coming up. I'm excited to see what happens this offseason for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of the West, let's move on over to Timberwolves Mavericks game
Okay,
four.
let's do it.
You want to tell me about game four of this series?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was your turn, but I'll go. Fine.
Okay.
No, I'll go. No, I'll do it. I'm pretty sure. No, I'll go.
Does that mean you want me to go?
No, I'll go. Okay, so Timberwolves, Mavericks. Thankfully, I don't want. Well, I don't want to say it thankfully, but I will say that this was not a sweep. So,
Hmm.
um, both these series, like we mentioned, were 3-0 last time, and we were a little worried about that. I know I'm pretty sure you were probably about the same. I wanted whoever the Mavericks, we knew they were going to win, to get as much rest as possible to get ready for the Celtics, but I also wanted good basketball for as long as possible. So I was kind of conflicted. So game 4 came around, we got a good basketball game. Unfortunately, Derek Lively was ruled out of game 4 after he got that knee to the back of the head in game 3. Thankfully, it wasn't a concussion; it was just a neck strain, and thankfully, he did end up playing in Game 5.
Yeah.
But Game 4 was not there. But who was available was Maxi Kleba. After
Surprise,
sitting,
surprise.
huge surprise because after he like dislocated his shoulder, essentially AC joint shoulder separation. He didn't play a ton this game, but he moved pretty well, and I think he's gonna be, to me, a big important piece in the finals. But we'll talk about that later. In this game, Luca finished with 28, 15, and 10, even though he was inefficient for his standards. The pick and roll didn't work as well without Lively. Dwight Powell got a grand total of 3 minutes, which good for him getting some run out there.
Even without Derek Lively, they still can't find a way to play that guy.
Yeah, it's funny how that kind of happens. And then even though the Timberwolves did win, they had a lead at the end. There was a time where I don't can't remember how many seconds there were, but Luca made a crazy three, could have had a 4-point play, could have brought the game in between within three, I think, or
Mm.
two.
The 4 point
Um
play was nuts.
yeah, he didn't make the free throw though.
Yeah.
So I know, and you could see after he was pretty upset with himself about that. But I mean, they won the series in the end. But Luca still doing Luca things was crazy. Cat finished with 25 and 5 in 30 minutes. He did foul out down the stretch and committed a lot of really dumb fouls, which
The
I
cat
mean,
experience.
it is insane how it's just a thing. I'm just so glad that I remember hearing about it and then I remember watching it. I was like, this is what people are talking about. I thought people were just kind of nitpicking, but then I was like, wow, man, like there really is some really
He fouled
just
out.
dumb
I think he
wipe
elbowed PJ
downs.
Washington in the face on a drive.
N- Uh, I
He
think
like brought the ball up and
that's what it was. That's what it
like
was.
elbowed him like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, you didn't have to do that
you're
at
right.
all.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of like he also does a lot of swipe downs, which I'm not a fan of, and on defense either. It's
Yeah,
just
just like smack a guy.
yeah, you
Okay.
usually just hit the guy. You never get the ball. There's a lot of bad fouls, but he played well. Anthony Edwards finished 1 assist shy of a triple double. This is definitely a kind of a bounce back game for him, 29, 10, and 9.
Mhm.
And I liked his attitude after the game. He said that he's never been swept and he took it personal,
Shout out
which
Bradley Beal.
shout out Bradley Beal. Also,
You know,
also shout out Michael Jordan because he's just like doing all of these Michael Jordan comparisons because I'm talking about the Last Dance thing. Like he
mhm.
literally says that in the anyways. So I'm like, gotta stop saying things like that, brother. If you don't want to be compared to him, brother.
Yeah, you know who did take it personal? Luca.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Wait, but he had a really inefficient game though, right? So what happened in game 5?
Game five, it was a slaughter. Luca had 12 points in the first 3 minutes, including two 30-foot threes, like step back threes, not even close to the line. He was just like, okay, we're done playing around, and that's why I'm wearing the shirt because I feel like that's how he felt.
I
Uh,
do want to say I you know how they have the audio assist, the TNT audio assist. I
yeah.
remember there was a timeout and they had Anthony Edwards like mic'd up, and they were
Mhm.
during the timeout. He was like man, I saw Luca do the first one. I was like, that's a Luca shot, and then he made the second one. I said, I can't defend that. It's like it was like just him like stating his case. Like, what did you want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Like, did you see those shots he made? I
I'm
thought it
just
was
like,
really
I
funny.
give up. It's over.
Yeah. Sorry. Continue. I just thought that was funny.
All good. After that, Gobert had a post up on him and drew an and one. And this was really funny when I was watching this because he like backed Luka down, did like a spin, made the layup, and then he had like his hand and he was like, ah, like he was like celebrating, and Luka was just like sitting there smiling at him. And I thought it was funny, after the
That's
game winner
yeah. Yeah, that's
earlier in
pretty
the
funny.
series where Luka was just yelling at him. Gobert's like, haha, I win. I got an and one. Um,
We only lost by 21 points.
it looked uglier than that at some point.
Yeah.
Derek Jones Jr., when Gobert was going up for a layup later in the quarter, kind of came over and clobbered Gobert, and then Gobert like kind of pushed him off of him and started walking away, and then Derek Jones and Derek Lively got up in his face about it, and then the refs gave Gobert and Derek Jones both techs.
A
So
little chippy, a
a little
little
chippy.
chippy.
Rudy Gobert has this interesting thing. Well, he'll get chippy for like half a second, and then he's like,
Yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, I mean,
"Wasn't me."
even while getting choked out, he goes, "Nope."
It's kind of funny. And then, the Timberwolves were kind of catching back up. I think they even went on like a 7-0 run at one point, and then they missed 8 shots in a row. And the first quarter ended on a 17-1 Mavericks run, to put the Wolves up 30. I mean, sorry, to put the Mavs up 35-19. Luka had
Hmm.
20 in the first quarter.
Yeah, I don't think you win games if the other team goes on 17-1 runs, but
Not even 14-0, but well.
not even yeah, not yeah, it's not perfect, but it's okay.
Then in the second quarter, of course, at the end of Luca played the whole first, so he sat. Kyrie kind of took over for the Mavericks, and they had pretty much a 15-20 point lead for most of the second. The Timberwolves couldn't really pull back in. Cat was being aggressive, not settling for threes because he was shooting awfully from three this series. And Anthony Edwards had some moments here and there. Jaden McDaniels had 3 fouls in 6 minutes of game time. So he was sat for the rest of the first half. He could not really guard anyone without fouls being called on him. So that was not good for defending Luca, who already had
Yeah.
20. And the Mavs ended up going on a 17-4 run to end the second quarter, going into the half up 69-40.
Almost a 17-1 run. So close.
Uh, yeah, and up 29, Luca and Kyrie had more points than the entire Timberwolves team at halftime.
That seems like a pretty good backcourt to me.
Now, there's been this little thing going around with Luca and Kyrie being called like the best backcourt ever, blah 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 blah,
Yeah,
best
it's so
duo, blah blah. It's like, okay, who
yeah,
cares?
I really don't like discussions like that. And that's what a lot of these like TV shows, all like these NBA ones always they just talk about. They're just like, well, so I think they're the best backcourt ever. I'm like, are you stop? It's just like, why does that matter?
Why
They're in
does
the
it matter?
finals.
Also, let them like finish the playoffs. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know.
not done. Yeah, let them, let them see what they can accomplish first. Like
Right,
you can't judge someone's career when it's still going, especially Luca's, which is just like so young anyways.
right.
Um,
I thought it was funny during halftime. I was watching the halftime show. An ad for Game 6 played.
oh,
It
that's
showed
cool.
it showed like highlights from Mavs Timberwolves, and it said Mavs Timberwolves Game 6, whatever day, and then
If
it's like if
necessary.
necessary.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
I
Won't
doubt
be
it.
necessary. Yeah. I do
Uh,
find it funny. Like, do you ever think about like TV programming has to take into account that sometimes these games won't happen, so they have to have something else instead? I just think that's interesting as
yeah,
in TV, period.
yeah. TV sounds stressful.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna stream.
I'm just gonna stream exactly.
Just keep streaming.
At some point in the third quarter, the lead went up to 37, and I stopped watching.
Oh,
Uh,
but you can bounce back from that.
I was like, okay, well, I think I've seen everything I need to see here. Luca finished the series averaging 32, 10, and 8, taking home the Western Conference Finals MVP, of course, named after Magic Johnson. And
Wow.
he's Luca Magic, so perfect.
That's awesome. That is an incredible stat line for this series, and I cannot wait for these finals, man. Tomorrow is going to be such a trip.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I'm gonna be sitting right here, staring at my computer.
I'm going to be listening to it while driving. I believe it starts at 5 or 5:30 my time. So
Mm,
I will be driving home listening to it from work, watch it, and then probably the end of the game will be still going on. I will be listening to it on a drive to my friend's gig. So it'll be a little all over the place, but there's no way I'm missing it.
For sure.
Even if my yeah, if I'm gonna have it on my if my friend is playing, I'm gonna have it on my phone in front of me. If it's like OT or double OT, whatever, I don't
Yeah.
care. No way I'm missing it. Um, yeah, yeah,
Shouldn't have
sorry.
scheduled your gig when the finals were, man. Sorry.
I honestly, when he texted me that he had a gig that day, actually two of my friends were playing that night. They both said, "Oh, we picked June 6th." I said, "That's the first day of the finals. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. Like, I don't know why you would do that to me." And they were like, "Are you really not gonna miss this?" I said, "No, I'll be there." But like, it hurts me that I might have to miss part or of a game. But I'm gonna be there for all of it. No way.
Supportive friend,
Yeah.
Dom.
I like to, but I also like my basketball. So I need both.
Right.
Um, but
What's
yeah,
next for the Timberwolves?
so this is going to be a very interesting off season. So a lot of things still up in the air, at least as far as I'm concerned. Ownership, you know,
Oh my God, I forgot about that
dude.
disaster.
Yeah, Glenn Taylor, billions, A-Rod, billions, just like it's just so many billions lying around. So, it really depends on who's the owner. Are they going to go into that second apron? Are they going to
Mm,
spend the money? You know, I think they found what works. So they found out that their defense is what is going to get them into the same position that they were this past year.
mm.
But it was their defense always was good. It was their offense that couldn't get going sometimes. So I
That's
don't
what
know
I
if
was worried about
yeah,
entering the
and
playoffs.
so that is something you need to address because Monte Morris off the bench isn't doing that. Like if there's someone who can generate offense, I don't know. Like there's a
Dude,
lot of
Monte Morris
players
didn't even play.
he didn't even play.
They played Jordan McLaughlin for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think did you have that note, but you took it out? I think because
What?
I think you had that note in the notes, but you went through and deleted a lot of stuff. I remember reading that because I didn't watch the game, so just saying you make good notes, brother.
Thanks.
But I really like the team as it is, and I just want them to get more pieces, but that's more money. So it's like you have to make sacrifices somewhere. Naz Reid's under a really good contract. Anthony Edwards is a lock.
Do you trade Cat?
Gobert, do you trade Cat? Do you trade Gobert? But you already got so much. I mean, Cat's the kind of the
I feel
odd
like
one
if you're
out,
gonna
but he
lock into your
did,
defensive identity, you can't trade Gobert.
for sure. I'm just saying that you traded away so much for Gobert too that you don't want to give him up. I'm just saying the pieces that are like you could trade.
Yeah.
Um, so Cat seems like the more viable one because it is a tradable contract. And he does play well. He's a good NBA player. Maybe you get more just defensive minded people that could also,
Hmm.
spark an offense. I don't know what's next. I'm excited for them though. This is the first time they've been this relevant in a while.
Yeah.
And like I mean, like this Western Conference Finals is so hard for me to watch because I love both teams. I love both teams. So I hope they don't. The one thing I don't want is I don't want them to pull like I think of like the Lakers 2020, like blow up the roster
Mm,
and get like all these other pieces that have never played together but might work. Like you don't know. Like I don't think now's the time to take that big of a risk. I think
right.
trying to get some consistency. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think with the contracts of Ant, Cat, Gobert, they don't have a lot of salary. Yes.
Jaden McDaniels as well. I forgot to mention he has a
Yeah.
big contract too.
5 year
But
125. I remember that from saying it on this podcast like 30
yeah,
episodes
so
ago.
it's like, do you want to trade that one? But then he's also a great defender and also did great offensively, making, buckets.
Bug it. Yeah, I don't know. I think
I didn't even try to do that. So funny.
I don't know who you trade. I don't know. I feel like you probably don't run it back with the same team just because of the financial strain that it's going to
Yeah.
have. Um, the West is getting better. The West is getting better. The Thunder were the one seed. They were really young. Um, you got teams like the Grizzlies who are really injured. The Rockets are hopefully more relevant.
Mhm.
Um, all these teams that are going to come back. So, what do you
I
do?
think, yeah, and I think some teams are going to take a back seat more. Like I think some teams will be replaced. Like I think we kind of mentioned it. I think Warriors take a step back from the spotlight. Yeah, they have a top 10 top 5 guard of all time, but it's like, you know, the all these other teams are coming up and are better than them. So, they're still going to be good, but I just think like they're not going to be as relevant as they have been.
And now you can't surprise people. Now people
Yeah.
are ready for you
Hmm.
after a year like this. So I think that plays a part into it as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I do feel like Cat feels like the odd man out to me. I do like his personality and like him as a player, but I feel like you have Naz Reid who can provide similar perimeter spacing. Not quite as good as Cat in the post, of course,
But it's the money, really.
but the
He's
money,
under
yeah.
a very good contract. So,
Yeah, and then you can find like like even if you could slide Jaden McDaniels over to the four. He's tall enough and lanky enough.
yeah, 6'8", 6'9", right? Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty big, so you could find a smaller wing. Um, Mike Conley's not getting any younger. You probably need to figure out who your ball handler of the future is after him,
Yeah.
because Anthony Edwards made a lot of careless turnovers and such in the
Yeah, and that's just not
playoffs.
his game. He's like through and through it too, like a shooting guard.
Yeah,
He definitely doesn't strike me as the guy who needs to be dribbling the ball up, setting up these plays and whatnot. He always fits better as a piece within the play.
right.
That's when he's his best. So, yeah, I don't know who it's going to be. Is it going to be 49-year-old Chris Paul? Is it going to be 52-year-old Kyle Lowry? I don't
It's
know.
gonna be Ricky Rubio is gonna unretire.
Oh, the goat. You're gonna get who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of you're gonna Patrick Beverly and get him back in the Timberwolves on a minimum.
Johnny Flynn, that's not a name you know.
It does sound familiar. Get Jarrett Culver back on the team. Come on,
Ah,
dude.
Tech
Texas
legend.
Tech legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Only know that because I played 2K21 and I was on the Timberwolves. So,
Oh yeah.
uh,
You probably had like Jake Lehman on that team.
Josh Okogie, D'Lo,
Gorgie Zhang may have been on that team.
maybe that a name I do not remember, and that's okay. But yeah, also speaking of the Timberwolves, since we're talking about off-season stuff,
Remember
Tim
Leandro
Connolly.
Balmaro?
May I finish now?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Also, I don't know who you're talking
They
about.
drafted him overseas like 2 years ago, and I don't think he ever came over. So,
He's like, I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, so speaking of the offseason, Tim Connolly, who's the GM, who was the previous GM for the Denver Nuggets that we talked about. He's currently the GM for the Timberwolves. They restructured his contract, so they're locking him in for next year. He did a good job. So we'll see what he does again this year, in this offseason.
woo.
Hopefully they listen to us and take
Hope
our ideas.
listen.
Hopefully they sign Ricky Rubio. Plead your case to Ricky Rubio.
Timberwolves
Yeah.
legend.
Yeah. Are we so we're gonna go into this finals preview? You ready to talk about finals, bro?
Let's talk about the finals. We have Mavericks, we have Celtics, we have JC Kidd, we have Joe Mazzulla, we have Luca, we have Tatum, we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. But there's some things first that we should dive into, and that is shoe deals.
Of
So
course.
Kyrie Irving is signing his father, Dedrick Irving, who played at Boston University and overseas in Australia, to a signature shoe deal with Anta. So I guess Anta is the brand that Kyrie is on now after
Mhm.
being dropped from Nike, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that it happened.
His
Actually, I
father
was
is going to have a signature shoe. That's so crazy.
that doesn't make any sense. I'm not gonna buy it. But I don't know if I was watching. I think game 3 or one of the games here with my roommates of the Western Conference Finals. I don't know. Did you see Kyrie's shoes? How they look like moccasins with like the
Mm-mm.
leather kind of on the side. It was a very interesting shoe, and my roommate pointed it out, and he said it looked pretty cool to him. And I was like, it does look kind of look like very Western, kind of like boots. I thought it was interesting.
That's weird.
It's a cool shoe. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
welcome.
Other relevant news in this finals, Kristaps Porzingis, it was announced, has completed multiple scrimmages recently and is expected to be available for the first game of this series, barring any setbacks. So, Porzingis has been out since I think having like an Achilles strain in the series against the Heat in the first round, and they made it all the way here without him. But I definitely think they'll need him for this series. So,
Absolutely. To be that rim protector, especially against the paint
well, he's
game.
definitely not going to do that. If Gobert and Cat couldn't do it against the lob that they just kept killing them with, no chance.
I agree, but they're better with him there than without him there by the
I,
ring.
I think it's the other side of the ball that will present more of an issue.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. You want to tell me about that? You don't tell me what you mean? 'Cause I definitely know what you're talking about.
Well, so I think about the Mavericks past. They went to the Clippers with the Zubac. They went to the Thunder with Chet. But what the Mavericks often did is hid Gafford or Lively on Josh Giddey, since he was not a shooter. And then they had the conference finals against Gobert. So they've had three centers in a row that, well, without Chet instead of Giddey or whatever. But basically, every round their center has had the chance to guard someone who doesn't shoot, which allows them to kind of roam and stay in the paint. And the Mavericks have been really, really good guarding the paint in this playoff run. That's a big reason why they're here. So with Porzingis, who basically plays like a 7-3 shooting guard, um, and the rest of the lineup is going to be Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. There's not really a person you can hide the center on. So they're going to have to guard Porzingis on the perimeter. So that's going to leave the paint a little more open. And if they decide to guard the paint, Porzingis might make you pay. So
Yeah, they're gonna have to make adjustments for sure. They're gonna dare the Celtics to make the three ball. If the Celtics
I
shoot their
love shooting the
average,
three
if
ball.
they make their average, it's gonna be a tough series. I think I was reading something like they average at least 14 threes a game, and that was like the league's like highest average for a team ever
Wow.
per game, so
They live and
including
die by the three.
yeah. So you are gonna have to dare them to do that. But then I think the Mavericks just have that and also more weapons on the inside. Um, but the Celtics have great defenders. That's why the series is going to be so fun because Celtics are a little bit untested because they played a lot of teams that had injury. And I'm
Right.
not saying that they didn't deserve it. They played great, and I picked them to make it all the way through. So I'm assuming they would have won these series anyways. But they haven't really had to really go against someone as stacked as this Mavericks team, especially with Kleba back. I think he's going to be a big part because he can play a stretch five. I mean,
Hmm.
he's not as tall. He's not going to be as good as a defender on Porzingis, but at least he can be quick and like keep up. Um,
Right.
that's why I kind of mentioned that earlier. It's good to see that he's back, but I also just want to say that I'm glad Porzingis is back because I want a healthy final
A healthy
series.
finals, yeah, for sure.
Even though I'm rooting for the Mavericks, I would rather them lose uh, with Porzingis on the Celtics than win without him playing. So it's just better that way, I
And
think.
we'll see if he can hold up because
Yeah, he
Porzingis
hasn't
has
played.
never been known for his health.
Very true. So, we're talking about players, mentioning players. Who do you think are going to be the top 10 most important players in the series? Do you want to do like 5 and 5 or
Yeah,
what
so
are
I
we
thought
thinking?
I thought this was an interesting exercise, because I feel like a lot of times when series are close, like we think the series is going to be close, typically people will do something like this, or they'll just go, "Who's the best player in the series?" or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought this is how we could do it. I thought we could go from one and to 10 and alternate. And if we have
Okay.
any disagreements, we can maybe discuss.
Okay.
Um, and I
Sure.
I have both rosters pulled up. I don't know if you want.
Oh, smart. Here, I can do that right now. I know both rosters pretty well, actually. I've
Yeah,
been
I mean
watching.
I know them, and I was like just to make sure I don't forget. Yeah, just
It's so funny. I said that, and I was like, Damon definitely knows the rosters just as well, if not better than me. So I don't know why he said it like that.
I
As in,
know the Ross.
I know. I don't know if you know the rosters, but I
I
definitely know
actually
the
watched the
rosters.
playoffs, so I gotta know what's going
Yeah,
on.
it's like we definitely watched about. Maybe I watched a little bit more playoff game, but like maybe one or two more. But like, it's not that you weren't like locked in trying to keep up with it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I think
um,
an interesting thing in the series is that I feel like the starting lineup of the Celtics is a little more powerful. Um, but I think the
for
Mavericks
sure.
have a little more bench depth. Um, and that's, I think, another thing this exercise can display. So, who should go first? Who should pick first of the players? Do you want to go
Well,
first? Do you want me to go first?
you go first. You brought this to the table. You should go first.
Okay. I think it's not debatable. The best player in the series is Luka Doncic. So,
Yeah.
All NBA first team last 5 years. Been
Yeah.
killing it. He's a playoff killer. Yeah, he's the best player in the series.
Yeah, hands down. He's on your shirt, he's on my wall, he's in our hearts. So it's perfect.
That was
Um,
beautiful. I love that.
I'm a poet by trade.
You do write
So
songs. Yeah.
I do write songs. So okay, so
Sometimes they
he's
rhyme.
number one. He's number one. So now you want me to alternate? Am I supposed to pick a Celtic or
No,
a
no, no. I
Maverick?
I mean, yes, you pick whoever you think is the second best player in the series.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Second best. Oh, best. We're doing best, not important. Sorry.
Ten.
Okay.
I mean that. Yeah, I guess that's the
Okay.
same. Yeah, both.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay. I get it, I get it. This is where it gets tough
Like
because
in the specific series, not like overall as a player.
for sure, for sure. I would probably, in this case, I would probably say Jaylen Brown because he just was the conference final um,
MVP.
MVP. And this I mean important, like I think he has to be that good.
Mm,
I think Kyrie is better. Kyrie Irving is a better player, but I think at least from these playoffs, it seems like Jaylen Brown's been consistent. So that's why I pick him, and I don't pick Jason Tatum because I think he's still getting his feet under him in the playoffs for whatever reason.
that's so interesting.
Um,
The interesting pick.
but you know why? You know why I picked him, right?
I get it. I get
You
it.
get, yeah. I think we can move things around, but like that's where my head is right now. Again, like in the grand scheme of things, I would put Kyrie Irving above him.
Mm,
Um, but I think Jaylen Brown needs to be like the number two guy for the
right.
Celtics to be that good.
Yeah. I'll go with Kyrie at number three.
Yeah.
Um,
I to me it's almost like tied.
because
Anyways,
I do think, if we're doing this kind of best but also relevant, I think Jason Tatum has had kind of a average playoffs, and the
yeah.
Celtics are in the finals. So clearly he doesn't need to be like super elite for them to make it, whereas I think Kyrie probably will, especially when Luka's not on the floor, um, to kind
Yeah.
of be the engine of that offense.
Yeah. I totally agree. Number four, I don't think it's really a surprise. O'Shea Brissett, obviously,
Oh,
is the
okay.
best.
Naturally.
Obviously. Okay, so we got Luka, Jaylen Brown, Kyrie. I mean, obviously my gut wants to go to Jason Tatum
He made an
next.
All-NBA first team this year.
I know, I
It seems
know.
important.
It is important. So I will go Jason Tatum. But it's so funny because I'm not saying this about the Mavericks players. I'm saying this about these two Celtics that they need to be that good. They need to be like playing like this. He needs to be all NBA, first team Jason Tatum to
Right,
win the series,
right.
So yeah, I'll go Jason Tatum.
Okay, so that leaves me with number five, and this is where I think the relevant part really hits for me. I'm gonna go
Hmm.
Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Number five. I think the defensive assignment of either Kyrie or Luca, he might do both. He might switch back and forth. I think that's going to be huge. I think, we think back to the Pacers series. I think he's a big reason they came back and won two of those games that they were not really looking like they were going to win. Um, so yeah, I think Drew Holiday is going to have a big job because Luca actually has praised him as one of the better perimeter
Yeah.
defenders in the league. And though he's like 3 inches shorter, he's big and strong and can probably make Luka uncomfortable. And then if he's on Kyrie, I think he's definitely big enough to keep up with that assignment. Although with Derek White on the court, I imagine they'll try to put Derek White on Kyrie, because I don't know
Yeah.
where else you would put him. So, and that leaves your Holiday probably on Luka.
And that leaves Derek Wise number six
Ah,
for me.
Derek White's your number six most important player in the series. Okay,
I think
I
so
don't
because
hate it.
yeah, I think it comes down to the defense. That's what, and also, I mean, he has made clutch shots when he's needed
Yeah,
to, and
yeah, he's had some big
um,
games for sure.
yeah, and he's one of those players like when you think Boston Celtics and they're in this, in the finals, this playoff run, most viewers aren't going to mention Derek White,
Hmm.
which I find so interesting because they're going to talk about Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, but I
Hmm.
sometimes he feels like the third most important Celtic. So on some games he is. So
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why I
I
would
actually like
say
where we just list who our next one is without actually like we're not making it up for debate. We're just like saying like we're getting the reasons,
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think that's fine. I like it.
yeah, because we respect each other,
Right. Number
right?
seven, yes.
Right, we do, right? Okay.
Number seven, I'm gonna go back to the Mavs because so far we
Yeah.
only have Luca Kyrie. I'm gonna say Derek Lively. And I'm going to say Derek Lively because I think the Celtics may do something that the uh Timberwolves did not really do a lot of, and that's blitzing Luca. And I think if they blitz Luca with two defenders, and Luca has to pass to Derek Lively in the role, and then Derek Lively has to make that decision whether he's kicking out to the corner or whatever. That's why I think he is going to be really important, because he's going to have to, I think, play make from like the top of the key, the free throw line, if the Celtics decide to blitz Luca and basically just say anyone else but you, like anyone but Luca
Yeah,
beat us. And Derek Lively will probably become the most relevant person there, and then of course the typical Luca Lively pick and roll and rim defense
yeah.
and stuff like that is also very important.
Um, I'm starting just to list out players we haven't mentioned because I am going flipping back and forth between these rosters and I'm like losing my mind. I was gonna say Derek Lively next.
Mm.
I was also gonna be. I
Ha
think
ha ha
that's
ha ha! I stole him.
7. Right, that's the seventh one.
Seventh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we got 3 more. So then I really hate that I'm not really picking any Mavericks, but I think if I'm looking at it, have to be
Has
Porzingis.
to be He's number eight. Yeah, it has to
Yeah,
be.
it
We haven't
has to
list.
be.
We're all the way down to eight, and we haven't named him. So yeah,
I know, but but it just goes to show the talent in this finals is
yeah.
that good. Um, yeah, and only the reason why I probably wouldn't have said him, or like instead of Derek White or whatever, is because coming off an injury, so
Right.
just might not be like first 2 games might be a little rusty, getting his feet
Hmm.
under him. So I'm sure he'll be back to like his standard self. But yeah, that's why I said those other players first. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Porzingis will be very important for that stretching the 5. He's better. Al Horford stretches the 5, but he's not as good as Porzingis. He's
He's
not as
old.
quick. And yeah, he's also 55. So that'll do that to you. Age, hey, time don't stop. I'll
Fa
tell you
fa
that much.
Father Time is
Um,
undefeated, they say.
yeah. Well, LeBron beat time, Father Time. Beat him to
Ha!
death.
Take-
Take that. um, yeah, so I would say Porzingis, and also, yeah, his defense will be important. Although I'm not too worried because, like you said, they went against the DPOY and made him look like he was a middle schooler. So no, I'm kidding. Not that bad. Not like me playing against middle schooler. No, Egypt. They made it work.
Yeah.
So that's why maybe he wouldn't be as high up,
Mm.
but Porzingis for sure. 8.
For number nine, give me PJ Washington. Uh,
Wow. Okay. I like it.
I think he is going to draw the defensive assignment of Tatum or Brown at basically all times. So that's really important. And then on the
Yeah.
other end, if they do decide blitzing Luca or whatever is going to be the answer, he has to hit those corner threes like he has been all playoffs. Those are going to be really important. The Celtics, I think, are number one in the NBA at preventing the corner three, so that's good to know. Um, so yeah, I don't know how many shot attempts he'll get, but if you get however amount he gets, he needs to hit them. So I think that's going to be really big for them. And yeah, that the other side of the ball guarding their best player, I think is pretty important.
Yeah. Um, that is great. Now I have the hardest pick now, number
Number 10.
10.
I have a player in mind.
I have 3. Well, I have 3 written down, and part of me wants to say each of them. I mean, I'll probably say what I had down, but if I'm just
Sure.
gonna pick 10, uh, who's gonna make the most impact? Who's gonna be the most important in the series? God, I, it's just so I'm so tough, but we're gonna debate this. I'll say Gafford, Daniel Gafford.
Gafford. Yeah, I thought about
Uh,
mentioning maybe Gafford Lively should be like combined into one.
yeah, because they do like the
They do
similar,
the
but
same thing when they're
but
on the court for the other one.
But Lively is interestingly better at handling the ball, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, like at the free
And
throw, kind of
Gafford's
like
better at spiking the ball to the floor and then
and
screaming.
deep. Exactly. So he's a better like defender, and he is also more experienced with the lobs and things of that. So,
Also worth
uh,
mentioning, he's their starting center. Lively is
yeah,
technically their bench center, but
yeah. But I think I like that though. I think that
yeah,
works out for them. So that's why I would pick Gafford. But
sure.
I really dark horse really want to pick Derek Jones Jr.
That was the guy I had in mind, was Derek Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because same reason as PJ, like
He'll
he
get
is
the
gonna
other
have to
guy.
be, yeah, he's gonna be super important on defense. He's also gonna have to like make his shots, which so at home he's scorching from
Yeah.
three, and then away he's not. So we'll see what he can do. Um, but yeah, and then I had Al Horford just because I know he's good, but he's also 55.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we mentioned
um,
like most of the Celtics rotation in like the first six.
yeah,
So
and just because of that, I don't think it means that it's a lock to win. Because I think what's more important than any number two, number four, number five, number six, what's
number
more
one.
important than any of that? Number one.
Number one.
Stop taking my lines. Stop reading my head.
It sounded like you were asking a
Um,
question. So I answered the question.
no,
You
it
said
was
you know what's more
rhetorical.
important.
I was asking myself that.
Oh, okay, I get it.
I'm gonna clip this microphone right now. I'm gonna be screaming.
Who do
Um,
you think is going to have the most bench impact as a cheerleader? Is it going to be Markieff Morris? Is it going to be Dwight Powell? Is it going to be Svi Mikhailuk?
oh,
Um,
it's 100% Markieff Morris or Jordan Walsh.
Jordan Walsh, that's a
100%.
good one too. Yeah.
100%. Well, I'm not even like the mutants from.
Oh my God. He's like Deadpool from X-Men Origins.
There you go, Deadpool. Yeah, he's Deadpool. We'll just call him that because it's better than mutant from what's that movie? The one that you talked about with oh my
Oh,
God, Will
I'm
Smith.
Legend.
I am Legend because but they're not zombies. They're like mutants. Anyways, whatever. He's a great NBA player. He's gonna
He
be
was so
really.
good in Summer League. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was terrible. It was actually terrifying. I was actually scared out of my mind the whole time. It's
Uh,
like,
uh,
wait, they can do that too? They can play basketball too?
do you think Tim
Um,
Hardaway plays in the series?
it's funny. He didn't even come into mind.
He got he got kind of benched down the stretch in
I think he's
conference finals.
too. I think you can maybe throw him in the rotation in Dallas. Same as Dante Exum. He got some run in too.
Mm.
Josh Green's going to be above them. I'm thinking of everyone who's going to play before them, right?
Jaden Hardy, we
I
didn't
guess Jaden
mention.
Hardy is going to play before.
He'll be important.
Um, yeah, I think Hardaway is a microwave player, right? Like he's
Right.
either going to do really well or not really good.
Put him in
I
for like
think,
1 minute, watch him like airball and like, all right,
and
not your game.
you're out. Not your game. Not your game. Makes the first one could be his game. Misses a second, he's out. He's like, that's not the sample size is enough. It's interesting. I think he will. It's good that he's available, and if they need to pull him, like if their offense isn't going, like come on, Tim Hardaway. You know what I mean? Like let's say you put Jane Hardy and Josh Green, they're not doing it. They can't stop the defense. They can't stop the Celtics on offense. They're not making shots. I'm like, all right, Hardaway, we're down 10, we're down like 15. Let's put you in, see if you can kind of get us back in this game. I think that's what I mean by available, not like I'm glad he's not injured. You
Yeah.
know? Which obviously I am. We didn't also mention really Maxi Kleba. I think he will be important, but not top 10 important, just for the fact that he can stretch the floor. I
Right.
think that's gonna pull, whoever's playing the five on the Celtics, pull him out. Either it's Horford or Porzingis, open up the paint.
Yeah. Yeah. I based on the success they've had, I don't see a ton of not lively Gafford on the floor unless they
Yeah,
run Kleba at the four with those two,
yeah,
which is a
just
possibility, I guess.
could happen. Yeah. So, what's your prediction? Did we do this last time? I don't know if we
We
did.
did predictions last time, but we'll reiterate them here. Game one's tomorrow. We're so
Yeah.
excited. I'm going to say Mavs in six. That's what I said last time. That's been my
Okay.
joke with Mike. Um,
I
Mavs won
said
in 6-6-5, I think, in the playoffs. So, but that being said, you get to game seven in Boston. This could be you, Boston Celtics. This could be you.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And if that happens, then we will have to get that shirt, an actual shirt of
yeah,
him leaning over like that, looking up.
I'm gonna hang them up on my
Um,
wall.
I
Yeah,
forgot. I said Mavs in 6-2. I forgot we had the
I think
exact
so.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that could be again. I think I said this last time. It could be the optimist in me just wanting the Mavericks to win. I just feel like I've seen their system work against the Thunder, who are a really good defense, and the Wolves, who are literally the best defense in the NBA.
Yeah.
And if the Celtics, if they have a game where they just miss a bunch of threes, they probably lose. So it's I feel like the Mavs, like the way they run their offense is a little easier and more consistent, whereas the Celtics kind of rely on shot making to an extreme. Where the Mavs, by the way, Derek Lively, I wanted to mention this, um, over under 80% field goal percentage in the conference finals.
Over.
Over, he shot 100%. He didn't
Yeah,
miss.
I was gonna say it was 100. Yeah, I knew the
Um,
answer. So that
okay,
was a question. That wasn't rhetorical.
fair. Uh,
um, I have my 6 game prediction, by the way. How it's gonna go.
like
It's gonna
per
shake
game.
down. Yeah,
Oh,
I have a feeling
let's. I want to
it's
hear
shake
this,
down.
please.
Okay, Celtics take game one.
Ma
I think
Mavericks always lose game one. I
they
think they
didn't, but they
they won
didn't against
they
Minnesota.
won
That's the
against
only.
Minnesota. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think Celtics win. I think Mavs come back, win game two,
got
win first game, game three. Celtics win, so we get tied 2-2. I
yeah.
think Mavericks take 5 and 6. I think that's what's going to happen.
Could be, could very well be.
And if not, then I think it'll be like the Celtics will get up 3-2, Mavericks game six, win, and then go game seven in TD Garden. And I think we get that scenario, game seven, Luca.
Yeah, that would be great. Definitely no objections there. You lagged out a little bit when you were saying that, and now your camera's frozen, but
Oh,
I got the gist. I understood. Um,
is it? Am I back now?
you are back. You are waving your hands around frantically.
Okay. Why does my internet do that
I don't know,
sometimes? It's so
man.
weird.
I don't know.
I don't
Um,
know. Well, thankfully it's the end of the pod, not in the middle.
Thankfully it's the end. Right.
Thank God it's over.
Wow.
Wow, man. All right, well, so that, we kind of talked about the finals. I'm very excited. It starts tomorrow, June 6th.
On
I guess
ABC, which I don't love, but
me either. Again, like I don't like they don't show that many timeouts the teams have. I'm gonna have to look it up on Google.
I
But
like
it
no
makes
more Kevin
sense.
Harlan, I love Kevin Harlan.
Oh, Kevin Harlan
We get Mike Breen, which is nice, but we get future
is he
Lakers
in,
coach JJ Redick
I was
and
gonna say yes, JJ Redick, Doris Burke, and
Doris
Mike Breen, which I
Burke.
don't hate. I don't hate.
I
Um,
miss a part of me nostalgically misses Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson.
oh my God, me too. Because I just want Jeff gonna be like, well, I could have got my dry cleaning done in the time it took for them to look over this foul.
I
He
love
doesn't even
Jeff Van
talk
Gundy.
like that. That's it's just like I just made him like, oh, so brusque, and he's like a really kind of like whistly voice, like
Yeah,
not even close to
he
being
just
so.
made him quite the character. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I met him once. I think I did meet him. I
So
think I, I
random.
think I think I met him at the same time when I met Flip Saunders,
Mm,
um, and his son,
Ryan
and I met all these
Saunders.
all these Lithuanian basketball players. It was at the All-Star game in Houston. Pretty sure I met him there or saw him at least.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, it was a very cool experience. Anywho, um, yeah, so
Anywho,
we talked about the finals and everything. We'll probably let the first few games play out, shake down, and then we'll hop back on early next week. And I will probably have a different location behind me because I will be dog sitting, like I said.
oh
I
yeah.
might have a co-host with me as
Do we
well.
have Junior making a pod
A
appearance?
little
Our
yeah,
first pod guest?
that'd be pretty cute. Is Junior Aiken, I guess. But yeah, so I'm super excited. I hope everyone else is.
Did I have
I
my
can't
bearded
wait
dragon on the
to watch
pod?
these games.
Did I ever show my bearded
I
dragon on the
don't
pod? Do you remember that?
I don't think so. I remember you having one.
Yeah,
I don't think you
I
ever
gave it away.
showed. Yeah. Give it away, give it away, give it away. Okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
And that was you got the ball. You got the ball. You gotta take the
I
shot.
have the ball. I
Remember?
have the ball. It's a new goal. It's on the other side. So that's just gonna be tough.
Oh, totally new.
Yeah,
Restart,
because
restart.
my right hand is gonna be like I gotta do this now. I don't want to go
Yeah.
left-handed. That sounds awful.
Yeah, that would be.
So maybe I scoot over a little bit. Maybe that.
And now you're blocking the goal.
Now I'm
Oh, you're
not.
gonna do that? Oh my
Now
God, you're
I'm not
off
even in the
screen.
camera anymore.
That's fine. All
You
right.
just
You
see.
got this.
Um, yeah, you can also see now all of my boxes and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Hey,
That's what
you
the people
someone
want.
just yeah, you just moved 4 days ago. So that's what I heard. So
It's what the people want, I
they
think.
want the
So
boxes. All right, here we go. He's taking the shot.
I hit the roof
And he hit the roof.
immediately.
He hit the
The
roof.
roof in
The
here
ceiling. The
is
ceiling. It's not a roof, it's a ceiling.
yeah, that's true. I'm on the first floor, so there's definitely a roof above this.
A roof above, a roof above.
Damn.
Um, but yeah, so I'm super excited for these games. If you have any questions or requests from us, let us know. Who do you think's gonna win, and why is it the Mavericks, and how many games? And
Right. I
we
broke my
will.
TV. I forgot to mention that.
Well, I definitely know because you told me, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm glad you immediately got a new one,
I
so that
did.
worked out.
I did.
Good for you. Um, but I can't wait to see what your room looks like next time once everything's all put up and everything. Excited to see the
I'm
jersey
gonna
set
leave it
up.
like this, probably.
Okay. Well, to
Oh,
each their own.
I didn't even have time because I know we are in a little bit of a time crunch.
Oh, yeah, the on air.
The on-air sign featured.
Well, there it
You
is.
can finally read
Boom.
it because you can't actually read it when it's on.
I can't wait when the Mavericks win. I'm gonna have to like get a paper crown or something and put it on
Oh,
Luca's
that's pretty
like
good.
on the poster over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. But thanks again for listening. Thanks again for watching. If you have if you want to share it with people, that'd be cool. Please do that. I'm gonna say it. Just share it with people. We appreciate it. And
All right.
we're gonna catch you next time on this pod. And once again, this has been Two Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Buckets.